Let's talk about a Superhuman, and this is a review of the tool. And the question is this an overpriced email tool or what? Let's talk about that. So I want to give you an overview about Superhuman. So Superhuman promises to deliver a faster email experience, but you can save yourself 30 to 40 bucks a month by learning Gmail's keyboard shortcuts instead. But the thing is that is a Superhuman really adding value to your email automation overall? In other words, can you actually gain more by using Superhuman or not? So let's first talk about the pros and cons of this tool so we have a clear idea what we're talking about. So first of all, the pros. When you think about Superhuman, you have a keyboard first tool for powering through messages. And we're talking here about a certain level of depth and breadth when it comes to the empowerment here. And you are able to you are able to have many quick actions supported by the command bar. Okay, so that's really the gist of a Superhuman when it comes to the capabilities that it's really bringing to the is bringing to the table here. What about the cons here? In our view, Superhuman is comically expensive, really, when you think about it. I mean, they charge you like crazy. I'll speak about pricing later on. And there is no Android clients in the tool. You have a few unique features. When you think about all the other email marketing automation tools out there, Superhuman really appeals in comparison. And you can only unsubscribe by emailing customer service. So Superhuman is not allowing you to unsubscribe by calling a phone number. No, they want you to really email customer service, and customer service will drag their feet before getting back to you anyway. So when you think about Superhuman, I want you to think about a tool that was actually backed by venture capital from investors, including Adriana Huffington. You have Ashton Kutcher, you have Will Smith, and Dropbox founder Drew Houston. So Superhuman is a much hyped email client and productivity app that really claims to be the fastest email experience ever made. The question is it really true, or this is just like hype? And so no small part of how Superhuman achieved this speed is by offering excellent keyboard shortcuts in addition to features like follow-up reminders, scheduled messages, and rate statuses. And the result truly is fast, and the app itself is sleek. And so this is really important to mention that. Boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. I want to talk to you about the pricing now. So, we want to jump right into it so we have a clear idea what we're talking about. So I want you to look right on the screen here. So you have, and the prices you have on the screen here are monthly prices, but you also have the opportunity to have yearly prices, and you can save up to 15% to 33% if you were to actually sign up for an annual billing process. Okay, so you have the starter, you have the growth, and you have the enterprise tier. That's great for larger teams. Okay, but you're gonna have to contact the sales for that for if you want to have a price in the enterprise tier. So Superhuman, as you can see on the screen, starts at 30 bucks per person per month, which works out to $360 per year. There is no free version and no free trial. Okay, so this is what it is. As I said a little earlier, this for us is comically expensive, really, when you think about it. But it's one of those things where, hey, listen, if you're interested in turning an idea into an email, replying in an instant, or polish your writing, you might really love Superhuman, okay? And you can also summarize long conversations. And this happens through AI, so Superhuman AI. So they are now using artificial intelligence to beef up their service. But the thing is that when you think about Superhuman, I want you to think about an email client for Gmail and Outlook, not an email hosting service. So if you are going to pay 30 bucks or 45 bucks or even more, remember that. So it's not an email hosting service. It is actually an email client for Gmail and Outlook. And so basically you need a Gmail or Outlook account to use it. You can use a free Gmail or Outlook account, although if you have a custom domain name, you or your employer or educational institution probably pay for Google Workspace or Microsoft 365, both of which start at $6 per account per month. So, I'm just bringing up this because several Gmail alternatives which offer email hosting, and some of the same features you get from Superhuman cost less than Superhuman on its own. Okay, so that's something that you really think about. So it's one of those things where you have to really think in terms of cost overall. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about Superhuman. Is this email tool worth it or what? I want to talk to you about the background here. I mean, first of all, the value added. But when we talk about value added, I want you to really understand that you are talking about a Gmail extension. Everything started with a Gmail extension, okay? And Superhuman was called originally Rapportive. I mean, it was part of a tool that was called Rapportive. Now, Rapportive was sold to a LinkedIn and back in 2012, and then they actually came up with the team around Rapportive or behind the Rapportive came up with a productivity software called Superhuman. Okay, and basically what you have here is that Superhuman is aimed at a similar group of users who are interested in beefing up their productivity. So we're talking about working professionals looking to streamline their workflows to be more efficient at their jobs. And I mean, Superhuman is really great in terms of fundraising because they've raised a lot of cash, up to over $100 million, and as of 2023. And it's one of those things where you have to really understand there is a possibility of automating your let's say your work streams and also your regular capabilities. So that's really important. Now the thing is that Superhuman actually you can't really just sign up for Superhuman nowadays. You got to have a Superhuman invite, so you have the ability to actually onboard real fast once you're invited. And but this is really good. I mean, the value added is could be there as well. You have the concierge onboarding, so this is worth the price of admission, and honestly it's free if you do it in your first 30 days. Superhuman employees really are able to they got like extend to your concierge onboarding process, so you are able to actually find out whether or not you can automate your processes, yes or no. And we love the fact that within Superhuman, you have the ability to track a few things as not only in terms of email, but also in terms of productivity overall. So you have signups, you have paying users, you have activations. That's kind of cool in terms of helping you automate your processes. You also have Superhuman shortcuts. That's another value that Superhuman adds a lot. And so intuitive shortcuts help you manage your inbox faster. And their goal is to keep every interaction under 100 milliseconds. And this is really good. And they've really nailed that aspect of things. So you are able to be really fast and more efficient at coming through your inbox every day than you could be without Superhuman. So you have a lot of command processes there. Now, there are other Superhuman features that you can really avail yourself of if you're interested in this aspect of things. You have read receipts, a mobile app, iOS only as of now. You have split inboxes, intuitive shortcuts, center social data, undo send, inbox zero celebrations, scheduled follow-ups, AI features, and this is kind of cool. So really interesting. Let's talk about the setup here. So which platforms does Superhuman run on right now? Now, Superhuman is only compatible with Gmail and Outlook email accounts. Other email providers are not supported, so I'm talking about Yahoo and so on and so forth. And Superhuman is available for macOS, iPhone, and iPad, as well as in Chrome using a browser extension. So as of now, they're not on Android. So Superhuman cannot run on Android devices, though reportedly support for them is on the way. There is no Windows or Linux app, though the Chrome version works on those platforms after you install an extension. So this is really cool. So getting started with Superhuman is pretty straightforward. You sign up for Superhuman by entering the email address you want to use with the app, followed by your credit or debit card information. There is no free trial. So Superhuman sends you a few introductory emails, which include an invitation to sign up for a training course that can be either a one-on-one call with an expert or a group called if that's more comfortable for you. Or you can skip it and instead rely on the overlaid interactive onboarding process to explain the features when you first set up and start to use Superhuman. So it really depends upon your learning style, and that's one of those things where you have to see what works for you. And if you are using Chrome, Superhuman asks you to install a browser extension. It's not possible to use Superhuman without this extension, which really allows for offline access to your inbox. Mac users can download the Mac app instead. There is also an iPhone and iPad app, and after paying and setting up the application, you'll see your inbox. And the interface is extremely minimal. At the top of the screen are sections of your split inbox, separate spaces where Superhuman automatically sorts messages you receive by category. And for example, messages go to the important category when the app's AI determines a message is likely important. And you see those messages first when you open the app. So that's kind of cool. There's also a section for VIPs. You manually select whose email addresses belong to the very important people, and their mail gets directed there. Another section is reserved for your team. You choose which domain names to add to this section, and so this is really cool. So Superhuman is all about keyboard shortcuts. That's the gist of today's conversation when you think about it. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about Superhuman, and is this tool really worth it or what? I want to talk to you now about Superhuman's command bar, and this is actually one of their best work, in our judgments. And so when you think about Superhuman, the best feature of Superhuman and the one Gmail and Outlook do not offer right now is the command bar. It's kind of similar to the command palette in the note-taking app Obsidian, and it's great if you can't remember a keyboard shortcut but don't want to touch your mouse. So what happens here is that you open the command bar with a keyboard shortcut, Command K on a Mac or Control K on Windows. After it really opens, you tap any action, such as archive an email or add a label, and press enter where the correct command shows up and you are done. And the command bar even works for unsubscribing from a newsletter. Even better, the app shows you the keyboard shortcut for the action, which makes it a lot easier to learn them over time. The command bar is by far one of our favorite things about Superhuman, and one that we have seen in an email client. So this is really cool, and there are actually other features worth talking about. So Superhuman offers more than just keyboard shortcuts. The problem is you can get similar features in most email apps and services, including the one you already have, Gmail or Outlook, to sign up for and use Superhuman. For example, and I want to go a little granular here. For example, Superhuman's calendar view pulls in appointments from Google Calendar or Outlook. It's not a full-blown replacement for a calendar application, but you can quickly look at your appointments and even add new ones, including from the command bar. It's kind of similar to the calendar sidebar in Gmail and Outlook. So this is something to really think about. And you can optionally add Zoom or Google Meet links automatically to all new calendar events, which Google Calendar and Outlook can already do as well. You can also snooze messages that don't need a reply right now, similar to how you can in Gmail, Outlook, and most email clients. So that's really important to think about. I want to talk to you also about built-in help for networking and via email, because the whole idea is if you are getting in productivity, chances are you might want to use the extra time to beef up your networking, right? So one unique feature is instant intro, which you can trigger with a keyboard shortcut, Command Shift I on Mac OS or Control Shift I in Windows. You use it when someone has introduced you to a new person via email, and this shortcut moves the sender's email address to BCC, allowing you to only respond to the person you are being introduced to. And other networking-oriented features can, for example, give you information about the person you are currently messaging in the right-hand sidebar, though it's not really clear where the information is coming from or how up-to-date it is. So that's really important. So according to Superhuman, they are constantly sort of they're beefing up, they're innovating on that front. So just make sure the signature settings are actually accurate. By default, this application adds sent by Superhuman to all your emails, complete with a link to the service. So this is something you want to think about and maybe remove, okay? And it's one of those things where you have to really clear what you have to be clear what works for you. And how does Superhuman protect your privacy? Well, really, in a very extensive way. Superhuman is a SOC 2 compliant, which is a standard developed by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountant, AICPA. And according to Superhuman, the company does not store emails or other data on its servers. Everything is directly downloaded from your email provider to your machine, and all data is encrypted in transit. And you also have another elements that you can really avail yourself of. And I mean, it's one of those things where you got to ask yourself: is the whole constellation of productivity features worth $30 to $45 a month? In other words, can you get it elsewhere? So this is a question you got to answer, and this is something that only you can answer based on your lifestyle, on your current job, and also your vision and your objectives. I want to talk to you about the verdict here. So, what is our verdict? Is Superhuman worth it in our view? Well, the thing is that we think Superhuman really has a place in this space, okay? And it's one of the best email clients that we have used. It is expensive though, but the time it saves you compared to using vanilla, Gmail, or Outlook more than makes up for the monthly cost. It's one of those things where, as I said, I was just saying a little earlier, it really depends on your goal. It depends on like it's $30 to $45, and you can say, you know what, I think this is totally fine with me. I can spend that much in 1 minute because my job is so lucrative. So if it is, then you are able to actually do a lot of things with Superhuman. You are able to use command processes to automate a lot of a lot of transactions, a lot of interactions you have with your contacts. Okay, and it's one of those things where you have to really understand that Superhuman has apps for every device. I'm talking about Mac, Windows, iPhone, and Android. So this is really cool in terms of opportunities. But remember that it is a keyboard first tool for powering it through messages. Okay, I want to insist on that. It is a keyboard first tool. So it's one of those things where if you are trying to improve your keyboard your keyboard driven interactions, then yeah, you might want to think about having Superhuman. And also, you have many quick actions supported by the command bar. Everything happens through the command bar, so you are clear as to really works for you. Okay, and it's one of those things where if you are willing to really bypass the fact that they have no Android clients right now, or they don't have a lot of few unique features, if you're okay with that, then you will really appreciate what Superhuman is offering as of did of this show. But long story short, it's all about productivity. It's all about how much your time is worth to you, how much each minute is worth to you, how much each hour is worth to you. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about Superhuman. And the question is this email marketing tool really worth it? So the recap here is very simple. So I'll give you the overview, the pricing, the value added, the setup, and now the verdict. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.